Good evening, everyone. Have you ever noticed how the most powerful presence in a room is often felt most deeply in its absence? It's not about the noise you make, the spotlight you steal, or the attention you demand. True impact is when people feel your energy long after you've left the space. When you're always available, you can become taken for granted. But when you know your worth, when you create healthy boundaries and practice intentional absence, you give people the opportunity to feel the weight of your presence. They start to recognize the gift of your time, your energy, and your heart. This is not about playing hard to get. No, it's about mastering the art of being irreplaceable by showing up in ways that matter and withdrawing in ways that heal. Let them miss your laughter when the room grows quiet. Let them miss your wisdom when the path grows uncertain. Let them miss your kindness when the world feels cold. There's an undeniable power in absence, a subtle yet profound force that reshapes how we are perceived, valued, and remembered. Often in life, we assume that to be impactful, we must always be present, available at every call, seen in every moment, and engaged in every situation. However, the truth is that absence can sometimes speak louder than presence. It creates a space for reflection, understanding, and appreciation that constant availability cannot. When you are always around, people may begin to take your contributions for granted, not out of malice, but because consistency can blur the extraordinary into the everyday. Your presence becomes so familiar that its significance fades into the background. Absence, on the other hand, disrupts this pattern. It introduces a pause, a moment of stillness that allows others to consider the impact you have made. It is in this gap that value often becomes unmistakably clear. Absence allows people to see the void you leave behind. Whether it's the laughter that brightened a room, the insights that guided a discussion, or the kindness that softened a difficult moment, your unique contributions are often best recognized when they're no longer there. This recognition doesn't diminish your worth when you're present, it amplifies it, making every interaction with you more meaningful because people have learned not to take it for granted. But this isn't just about how others see you, it's also about how you see yourself. Taking a step back can be a powerful act of self-preservation. It provides you with the clarity to understand your own importance, not through the lens of external validation, but through the quiet realization of your intrinsic value. When you're constantly giving, it's easy to lose sight of your own needs and boundaries. Absence gives you a chance to breathe, recharge, and reconnect with your purpose. It's in this space of reflection that you can identify what truly matters and how you want to show up when you return. Absence also cultivates respect. When you establish boundaries, you teach people how to value your time and energy. It's not about withholding yourself to play games or manipulate relationships. It's about ensuring that your presence is meaningful and intentional. By stepping away when necessary, you demonstrate that your time and energy are precious, deserving of respect and care. This encourages others to appreciate and honor your contributions more deeply. In professional settings, absence can be a strategic tool. Overcommitment can lead to burnout and diminishing returns, where the quality of your work suffers because you're stretched too thin. By stepping back, you allow others to step up, fostering collaboration and shared responsibility. It also creates opportunities for those around you to grow and showcase their capabilities, ensuring that the team or organization thrives even in your absence. This isn't a sign of weakness or neglect, it's a demonstration of leadership and trust. In personal relationships, absence creates room for genuine connection. When you're always available, interactions can become routine, lacking the depth that makes relationships meaningful. However, when you step back even briefly, it allows others to miss you, to reflect on the moments you've shared and the impact you've had on their lives. This absence doesn't weaken the bond, it strengthens it, making reunions richer and more heartfelt. Absence is also a gift to yourself. Life can be overwhelming with demands pulling you in multiple directions. Stepping away from the noise provides a chance to listen to your inner voice, to understand what you need to feel whole and fulfilled. It's a reminder that you are more than your roles and responsibilities, that your worth isn't tied solely to what you do for others, but also to the joy, peace, and fulfillment you cultivate for yourself. Absence is not abandonment, it's an act of intention. It's a way of reminding yourself and others that your time and energy are not infinite and should not be spent without purpose. It's a declaration that your presence is a treasure, one that should be valued and cherished. By stepping away, you amplify the impact of your return, ensuring that your presence is felt more deeply and appreciated more profoundly. Healthy boundaries are an essential cornerstone of self-respect and mutual respect in any relationship, whether personal, professional, or social. They are not walls meant to shut others out, but bridges that enable meaningful connections while preserving your individuality, values, and well-being. Boundaries are often misunderstood as selfishness or detachment, but in truth, they are acts of love and respect for yourself and others. Establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries creates an environment where relationships can thrive with clarity, understanding, and mutual appreciation. Boundaries communicate your values and priorities, making it clear what you can and cannot give. Without them, it's easy for others to unknowingly overstep, leaving you feeling drained, resentful, or taken advantage of. When you set clear limits, you give others a framework to engage with you in ways that are respectful and mutually beneficial. It's not about shutting people out or rejecting their needs, but about ensuring that your own needs and limits are acknowledged and respected. This balance fosters a sense of trust and stability in relationships because both parties understand where they stand. Setting boundaries is a way of asserting your self-worth. It says, I value myself enough to protect my time, energy, and emotions. This is not arrogance, it's self-respect. People who respect themselves are better equipped to respect others because they understand the importance of valuing individual limits. When you honor your boundaries, you model that same behavior for those around you, encouraging a culture of mutual respect and understanding. Healthy boundaries are also a safeguard against burnout. In a world that often glorifies busyness and overcommitment, it's easy to fall into the trap of saying yes to everything, stretching yourself thin to meet everyone's expectations. But overextending yourself doesn't serve anyone in the long run. By establishing boundaries, you create space to recharge and refocus, ensuring that when you do show up, you're present, energized, and capable of giving your best. Without boundaries, you risk becoming overwhelmed, which can lead to frustration, resentment, and a diminished ability to contribute effectively. In professional settings, boundaries are especially crucial. They ensure that roles and expectations are clearly defined, preventing misunderstandings and fostering a respectful work environment. When you communicate your limits, whether it's about work hours, task responsibilities, or communication preferences, you help create an atmosphere of transparency and fairness. This doesn't mean being rigid or inflexible. It's about finding a balance that allows you to perform effectively while maintaining your well-being. Respecting others' boundaries in turn builds trust and collaboration, showing that you value their time and contributions as much as your own. In personal relationships, boundaries are the foundation of healthy connections. They allow you to engage with others authentically, without the pressure to conform to expectations that don't align with your values or capacity. For example, saying no to a request doesn't mean you don't care, it means you're being honest about what you can give. This honesty strengthens relationships because it fosters trust and reduces the likelihood of resentment or misunderstandings. Boundaries also create space for individuality, ensuring that both people in a relationship can grow and thrive without feeling smothered or constrained. Respecting boundaries goes both ways. Just as you set your own limits, you must honor those of others. This reciprocity is the essence of mutual respect. When someone communicates their boundaries to you, it's a sign of trust. They're sharing their needs and vulnerabilities with the expectation that you will honor them. Disregarding those boundaries undermines that trust and can damage the relationship. On the other hand, respecting boundaries strengthens connections, showing that you value and appreciate the other person's autonomy and well-being. Establishing boundaries can be challenging, especially if you've been conditioned to prioritize others' needs over your own. It requires self-awareness, confidence, and sometimes difficult conversations. But the discomfort of setting boundaries is far outweighed by the benefits they bring. They empower you to live authentically, free from the guilt and exhaustion that often accompany overcommitment. They also help you build relationships rooted in respect and understanding, where both parties feel valued and heard. Boundaries are not a one-time declaration, but an ongoing practice. They may need to be adjusted as circumstances change or as you grow and evolve. This adaptability is a sign of strength, not weakness, showing that you're committed to maintaining healthy relationships while honoring your own needs. It's important to communicate your boundaries clearly and kindly, ensuring that others understand your intentions and the reasons behind your decisions. By doing so, you create an environment of openness and respect, where boundaries are seen as a tool for connection rather than a barrier. Presence is one of the most profound gifts you can offer to the people around you, yet it is often undervalued in a world that takes constancy for granted. To truly be present means to bring your full self into a moment, your attention, your empathy, and your energy. It is not just about physically being somewhere, but about mentally and emotionally showing up in a way that adds meaning and connection to the experience. Yet this precious offering of presence loses its value when treated as an obligation or something expected rather than a deliberate choice. When presence is freely and intentionally given, it carries an authenticity that cannot be replicated. It is the difference between hearing and truly listening, between seeing and genuinely noticing, between existing in a space and actively engaging with it. People who master the art of being present are not just there, they make others feel seen, heard, and valued. This kind of presence leaves a mark long after the interaction is over because it speaks to the heart. This doesn't mean withholding yourself out of spite or indifference. Instead, it means recognizing the power of intentional presence and reserving it for the moments that truly count. When you show up purposefully, you elevate the interaction, making it more meaningful for everyone involved. People come to appreciate your time and energy because they understand it's not something you give lightly. By treating your presence as a gift, you inspire others to do the same, creating relationships built on mutual respect and appreciation. The beauty of presence lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require grand gestures or elaborate efforts. It simply asks for attention and authenticity. In a world filled with distractions, this simplicity is often overlooked. How many times have we sat in conversations half listening while scrolling through our phones? How often do we share physical space with someone while our minds are elsewhere? These moments of divided attention rob us of the opportunity to truly connect. When you choose to be fully present, you honor both the moment and the person you're with, creating a connection that feels rare and meaningful. Presence is also about quality over quantity. It's not about how much time you spend with someone, but about how you spend that time. A single moment of genuine presence can outweigh hours of distracted interaction. This is why it's so important to be mindful of where you direct your energy. When you treat your presence as a gift, you ensure that the moments you share with others are impactful and memorable. You give people the best of you rather than a fragmented version of yourself. This concept extends to every area of life, from personal relationships to professional endeavors. In the workplace, being fully present during a meeting or conversation can make a world of difference. It shows that you value the people you're engaging with and that you're invested in the task at hand. In personal relationships, intentional presence fosters trust, understanding, and intimacy. It communicates without words that the person you're with matters to you and that you're willing to give them your undivided attention. Treating your presence as a gift also means knowing when to step back. Constantly being available can lead to burnout and diminish the value of your presence. Just as absence creates room for reflection and appreciation, choosing when to show up allows your presence to carry more weight. This is not about playing hard to get, but about preserving your energy so that you can give fully when it matters most. It's about understanding that your time and attention are finite resources and using them wisely. Being present is as much about self-awareness as it is about connection. It requires you to be in tune with your own emotions, needs, and boundaries so that you can engage with others authentically. When you are centered and whole, your presence becomes a source of strength and positivity. It's a reminder that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself ensures that when you do show up, you do so with intention and purpose. In a culture that often equates constant visibility with importance, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that the more frequently you show up, the greater your impact. However, the truth is that genuine influence is not measured by how often you're present, but by the quality of your contributions when you are. Impact over frequency is about prioritizing meaningful engagement over mere consistency, ensuring that every action, word, or gesture carries weight and significance. True impact is rooted in intentionality. When you show up with purpose, your presence resonates far beyond the moment. It's not about being everywhere all the time, but about being fully present and making a difference when it matters most. People remember the value you bring, not how often you bring it. A single act of kindness, a well-timed piece of advice, or a heartfelt connection can leave a deeper imprint than countless superficial interactions. The idea of impact over frequency challenges the notion that busy equals effective. In both personal and professional settings, there is a tendency to believe that constantly being available or visible is the key to success. Yet, this approach often leads to burnout, diluted efforts, and a loss of authenticity. When you focus on quality instead of quantity, you conserve your energy for the moments that truly matter, ensuring that your contributions are meaningful and sustainable. In relationships, impact over frequency emphasizes the importance of depth. Spending countless hours with someone doesn't necessarily strengthen the bond if those interactions lack intention and presence. On the other hand, a single meaningful conversation or shared experience can create a lasting connection. It's not about how often you're there for someone, but about how you show up when they need you most. When you prioritize impact, you demonstrate that the relationship matters to you, and this sincerity fosters trust and mutual appreciation. Professionally, the principle of impact over frequency is equally powerful. In the workplace, it's easy to equate productivity with being constantly involved, but true effectiveness comes from focusing on tasks and contributions that create real value. A well-prepared presentation, a solution to a complex problem, or a thoughtful proposal can leave a stronger impression than being perpetually present at every meeting or responding to every email. By prioritizing impactful work, you not only achieve better results, but also establish yourself as someone whose contributions are meaningful and reliable. This approach also applies to leadership. Great leaders are not defined by how often they speak, but by the significance of their words and actions. They understand that their influence comes from the ability to inspire, guide, and create change, not from micromanaging or being constantly in the spotlight. Leaders who focus on impact over frequency empower their teams by showing up with clarity, purpose, and support when it's most needed, fostering an environment of trust and collaboration. Impact over frequency also requires self-awareness and the courage to step back when necessary. It's about recognizing that you don't need to be everywhere to be effective. By being selective about where you invest your time and energy, you create space to focus on what truly matters. This doesn't mean neglecting responsibilities or relationships. It means approaching them with intention and prioritizing quality over quantity. It's about understanding that sometimes less is more. This principle is especially relevant in today's world of constant connectivity. Social media, instant messaging, and 24/7 communication create the illusion that you must always be available and active to stay relevant. However, constant engagement can lead to a loss of authenticity and a diminished ability to make a meaningful impact. By stepping back and being deliberate about how and when you engage, you ensure that your contributions are thoughtful and significant. Focusing on impact over frequency also enhances your personal growth. When you prioritize meaningful engagement, you become more intentional about how you spend your time and energy. This intentionality allows you to align your actions with your values, goals, and priorities, leading to a more fulfilling and purpose-driven life. You're no longer driven by the need to constantly prove your worth through presence. Instead, you demonstrate it through the depth and quality of your contributions. The principle of impact over frequency challenges you to redefine how you measure success and influence. It encourages you to focus on what truly matters. To invest in moments and actions that create lasting value, and to recognize that true impact is not about being everywhere, but about making a difference where it counts. It's a reminder that your worth is not tied to how often you show up, but to the meaning and significance you bring when you do. Knowing your worth is one of the most powerful and transformative realizations you can have. It is the foundation upon which self-respect, confidence, and a fulfilling life are built. When you know your worth, you stop seeking validation from external sources and start living in alignment with your true self. This sense of self-awareness and self-appreciation allows you to set boundaries, make empowered decisions, and navigate life with clarity and purpose. Understanding your worth begins with recognizing that your value is inherent and unchanging. It is not dictated by your achievements, possessions, or the opinions of others. Many people tie their sense of worth to external factors, believing they are only as good as their latest success or the approval they receive from others. This mindset creates a fragile foundation that can crumble under pressure or failure. True self-worth, however, comes from within it, is a deep understanding that you are valuable simply because you exist. When you know your worth, you stop settling for less than you deserve. This applies to every area of life, from relationships to career choices to personal goals. In relationships, knowing your worth means refusing to tolerate disrespect, neglect, or toxicity. It means surrounding yourself with people who value and uplift you rather than those who diminish or exploit you. It's not about arrogance or entitlement, but about recognizing that you deserve kindness, respect, and love, and that you have the right to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't honor that. In the professional realm, knowing your worth empowers you to advocate for yourself. It gives you the confidence to negotiate for fair compensation, pursue opportunities that align with your skills and passions, and set boundaries that protect your time and energy. When you undervalue yourself, you may accept less than you deserve, whether it's in the form of low pay, unreasonable demands, or lack of recognition. But when you truly understand your worth, you can stand tall and assert your value without hesitation, knowing that your contributions matter. Knowing your worth also transforms the way you set and pursue your goals. When you believe in your own value, you stop holding yourself back out of fear or self-doubt. You start dreaming bigger, taking bold steps, and trusting in your ability to succeed. You recognize that you are capable and deserving of achieving great things, and this belief fuels your perseverance and resilience. Even when you face setbacks, your sense of worth remains intact because it is not tied to external outcomes. This mindset shift also helps you embrace your uniqueness. Everyone has their own strengths, talents, and perspectives that make them valuable. When you know your worth, you stop comparing yourself to others or trying to conform to societal expectations. Instead, you embrace who you are and what you bring to the table. This authenticity not only enhances your self-esteem, but also allows you to connect more deeply with others, as people are drawn to those who are confident and comfortable in their own skin. A key aspect of knowing your worth is setting healthy boundaries. When you value yourself, you prioritize your well-being and refuse to overextend yourself to please others. You recognize that saying no is not a sign of weakness or selfishness, but an act of self-respect. By protecting your time, energy, and emotional health, you ensure that you can show up fully for the things and people that truly matter. Boundaries are a declaration of your worth, a way of saying that you respect yourself enough to not allow anyone to diminish or exploit you. Knowing your worth also helps you recognize the worth of others. When you are secure in your own value, you don't feel the need to compete, compare, or diminish others to feel better about yourself. Instead, you can celebrate their successes and contributions without feeling threatened. This creates a positive cycle of mutual respect and support, enriching your relationships and fostering a sense of community. Living with a clear understanding of your worth requires continuous effort and self-awareness. It means challenging negative self-talk, letting go of limiting beliefs, and surrounding yourself with people and environments that affirm your value. It's about choosing every day to honor and respect yourself, even in a world that may try to make you feel otherwise. Your worth is not negotiable, and when you embrace it fully, you unlock a life of confidence, purpose, and fulfillment. Space to reflect and space to grow are essential components of personal development and a fulfilling life. In the fast-paced world we live in, the value of creating and embracing space is often overlooked. Yet, it is in these moments of quiet introspection and intentional separation from the noise of daily life that we gain clarity, realign our priorities, and cultivate growth. Reflection and growth are intertwined, each feeding into the other, allowing us to become more self-aware, resilient, and purpose-driven. Space to reflect begins with the conscious choice to step away from the constant stream of activity and external demands. It's easy to get caught up in the cycle of rushing from one task to another, meeting deadlines, and fulfilling responsibilities without pausing to consider the bigger picture. Reflection is the antidote to this chaos. It is the act of looking inward, assessing where you are, and understanding the thoughts, feelings, and experiences that shape your journey. In this space, you gain the ability to process challenges, celebrate achievements, and identify areas for improvement. Creating space to reflect doesn't always require extended periods of solitude. Sometimes it's found in small moments, a quiet morning walk, journaling before bed, or even a few minutes of mindfulness during the day. These moments allow you to disconnect from the external and reconnect with your inner self. When you take time to reflect, you gain perspective. You can better understand what is truly important, what aligns with your values, and what may need to change. This clarity becomes the foundation for meaningful growth. Growth, however, requires more than just reflection. It demands space to act on the insights gained. Reflection helps identify areas where growth is needed, but without the freedom and room to experiment, learn, and adapt, growth cannot take root. Space to grow involves creating an environment that nurtures curiosity, encourages exploration, and allows for mistakes. It is about stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing the uncertainty that comes with pursuing new goals and challenges. Growth often involves letting go of what no longer serves you, whether it's outdated beliefs, toxic relationships, or habits that hinder progress. Letting go creates the necessary space for new opportunities, perspectives, and experiences to enter your life. It's a process that requires courage and trust in yourself, as well as a willingness to embrace discomfort. Growth is not always linear or easy. It often comes with setbacks and growing pains. However, these challenges are a natural part of the process and contribute to building resilience and self-awareness. In relationships, space to reflect and grow is equally important. Whether in friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional connections, the dynamic between individuals benefits from moments of separation and introspection. Reflection allows you to assess the health of the relationship, understand your role within it, and identify areas that need attention or adjustment. Growth within relationships requires both parties to have the freedom to evolve as individuals, bringing fresh energy and perspectives to the connection. Space to reflect and grow also involves the ability to set boundaries. Without boundaries, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the demands of others, leaving little room for personal development. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and a recognition of the importance of prioritizing your own needs. It allows you to carve out the time and energy required for introspection and growth, ensuring that you are not constantly reacting to external pressures, but proactively shaping your path forward. Reflection and growth are not one-time events, but ongoing processes. Life is dynamic, and as circumstances change, so too do your goals, values, and priorities. Regularly creating space for reflection ensures that you remain aligned with what matters most, while consistently seeking space to grow allows you to adapt and thrive in the face of change. This cycle of reflection and growth fuels a sense of purpose and fulfillment, helping you navigate life's complexities with clarity and confidence. In embracing space to reflect and grow, you also cultivate a sense of balance. It's not about withdrawing completely from the world or constantly striving for improvement, but finding harmony between being and becoming. Reflection grounds you in the present moment, while growth propels you toward the future. Together, they create a rhythm that keeps you connected to yourself and your aspirations, allowing you to live a life of authenticity and intentionality. By valuing and prioritizing these spaces, you empower yourself to move forward with wisdom, resilience, and a deep sense of purpose. You learn to honor the journey, embrace change, and trust in your ability to continually evolve into the best version of yourself.